Over 700 million people worldwide live with some form of dietary restriction, whether medical, religious, ethical, or personal. And yet, fewer than 30% of them feel confident eating safely when they travel internationally. That is not a small problem. That is hundreds of millions of people either risking their health every time they board a plane, or simply staying home. Neither of those options is acceptable. In the next 10 minutes, you are going to learn exactly how to travel anywhere in the world without your dietary needs becoming a barrier or a crisis. We will cover the preparation strategies that most travelers skip entirely, the hidden food risks that no one warns you about, and the one approach to communicating your restrictions abroad that changes everything. Stick around, because the insight near the end of this video genuinely surprised us when we first discovered it. Dietary restrictions have existed for as long as human civilization itself. Ancient religious texts from Judaism, Islam, Hinduism, and Buddhism all contain detailed food laws that followers have observed for thousands of years. The oldest documented dietary restriction may be the Jewish laws of kashrut, which date back over 3,000 years. These were not arbitrary rules. They were frameworks for living, community, and identity built into the very act of eating. But the modern landscape of dietary restrictions is far more complex than it used to be. Today, the reasons people restrict certain foods span an enormous range. Medical conditions like celiac disease affect approximately 1% of the global population, or roughly 80 million people. Lactose intolerance affects an estimated 68% of adults worldwide. Peanut allergies alone impact around 3 million people in the United States. Meanwhile, the number of people choosing plant-based diets has risen sharply, with veganism growing by over 300% in the last decade in several Western countries. Travel did not get easier as dietary needs multiplied. In many ways, it got harder. The core challenge is simple: food is cultural. What people eat, how they prepare it, and what they consider edible is deeply tied to identity and tradition. When you arrive in a new country with a list of foods you cannot eat, you are not just navigating a menu. You are navigating an entirely different set of cultural assumptions about what food is and what it means. So how do you do this well? It starts long before you pack your bags. Research is the first and most powerful tool you have. Before any trip, you need to understand not just what cuisine the destination is known for, but what the baseline ingredients of that cuisine actually are. Southeast Asian cooking, for example, is extraordinarily flavorful and celebrated worldwide, but it routinely uses fish sauce, shrimp paste, and oyster sauce as foundational flavor builders. These ingredients are invisible in a finished dish. A vegetable stir-fry that looks entirely plant-based might have been cooked with shrimp paste as its first ingredient. For someone with a shellfish allergy or a vegan traveler, this is not a minor inconvenience. It is a genuine risk. Similarly, many traditional European breads and pastries contain hidden dairy or eggs even when they appear to be simple bread products. Stocks and soups across dozens of cuisines are almost universally meat-based unless you are eating somewhere that specifically caters to plant-based diners. Knowing these baseline assumptions before you arrive gives you a massive advantage. Now here is what nobody talks about when it comes to traveling with dietary restrictions. Translation cards are not enough. Most travelers who do the right research end up printing a card in the local language that explains their dietary needs. That is a smart move. But the card alone fails more often than people realize, and the reason why is cultural, not linguistic. In many parts of the world, there is no cultural framework for the concept of a food allergy causing serious harm. In some regions, a server who reads your gluten allergy card may genuinely not understand that cross-contamination from the same cutting board is a problem. They may confirm your dish has no bread in it and feel they have answered your question completely and honestly. They are not being careless. They are operating within a different understanding of what food safety means. This is why the most effective strategy is not just translating your restriction but explaining the consequence. A card that says, "I cannot eat gluten," performs worse than a card that says, "I have a medical condition. If I eat gluten, I will become seriously ill and may need to go to a hospital. Please ensure my food is prepared separately from any wheat, bread, or pasta." The consequence reframes the communication entirely. It transforms a preference into an emergency prevention measure. Apps and technology have also become genuinely powerful tools for restricted travelers. Apps like Allergy Eats, Find Me Gluten-free, and Happy Cow allow travelers to crowdsource restaurant recommendations from people who share their specific restriction. These are not general review platforms. They are communities of people who have eaten at these restaurants and can tell you whether the kitchen actually understands cross-contamination or just claims to. The difference between those two things can mean the difference between a great meal and a medical emergency. Let us talk about accommodation choices, because this is an underrated factor. Travelers with serious dietary restrictions often benefit enormously from booking accommodations with kitchen access. Apartment-style hotels, vacation rentals, and hostels with communal kitchens give you the ability to prepare at least some of your own meals. This is particularly valuable during breakfast and lunch, so you can reserve your energy for navigating dinner at local restaurants. Visiting local markets is also one of the great joys of travel. Fresh produce, whole foods, and unprocessed ingredients carry far lower risk of hidden allergens than prepared dishes do. But what about situations where you cannot prepare food yourself and you are in a region where your restriction is poorly understood? This is where building a relationship with your accommodation staff becomes critical. Hotel concierges in major tourist destinations often have extensive experience helping guests with dietary needs. They know which restaurants take allergies seriously, which chefs have trained in allergen awareness, and which local dishes are naturally safe for your restriction. That local human knowledge is something no app can fully replicate. Another strategy that experienced restricted travelers swear by is eating where locals with similar restrictions eat. Every country has communities of people living within the same food traditions you follow. Kosher travelers can often find Jewish community centers or synagogue-connected restaurants in cities that have Jewish populations. Muslim travelers can use apps like Zabiha to find halal-certified restaurants globally. Vegan travelers can look for Buddhist temples in Asian countries, as many Buddhist communities maintain entirely plant-based kitchens that are open to visitors. Here is a data point that changes the conversation. According to a 2022 study published in the journal Nutrients, travelers with celiac disease who conducted pre-trip restaurant research reported 60% fewer accidental gluten exposures compared to those who did no pre-trip research. 60%. That is not a marginal improvement. That is the difference between a successful trip and a medical crisis. The broader analysis here reveals something important about how we think about travel itself. The idea that adventurous travel means abandoning all caution is a cultural myth. The most experienced travelers in the world are meticulous planners. They know that freedom on the road is built on preparation, not on improvisation for its own sake. When you have a dietary restriction, your preparation simply needs to be more detailed than average. That is not a limitation. It is a skill. The rise of global food allergy awareness is also changing the restaurant industry rapidly. Major cities from Tokyo to London to Sao Paulo now have restaurants that specifically cater to multiple dietary restrictions simultaneously. Menu labeling laws in the European Union now require restaurants to declare 14 major allergens. Australia has similar requirements. This infrastructure is improving every year, and travelers with restrictions have more tools, more resources, and more restaurant options than any previous generation. What this all adds up to is a clear and actionable framework. Research your destination's baseline cuisine. Prepare consequence-based communication cards in the local language. Use specialized apps to find community-vetted restaurants. Book accommodation with kitchen access where possible. Before you go, if you learned something valuable today, hit that like button right now. Subscribe to TravelSphere for a brand new video every single day. We will see you in the next one.